What is a job that pays extremely well but no one realizes it? A niche, but if you grow flowers for florists you can make bank. It's my first year, but we sold a bunch of zinnias on demand and to florists this year, along with a few 1,000 specialty sunflowers. The sunflowers are pretty much hands-off once they are planted with drip line. They shelter out weeds pretty fast. We're selling them to florists at $1.50 per stem and have made a few thousand. Only a few weeks into the blooms, the rest are all spoken for before they have even bloomed and we're set to pull in about $30,000 in flower sales this year, and it was just a test year. Our local competitors, who we will compete with next year, make a few $100,000 a year via florist sales, direct sales, and you pick. Ditch digger. I make $46 HR, almost unlimited overtime, $65 day bonus for being on call. Minimum of 3 hours pay if on-call phone rings, 1.5x pay after 8 hours in a day, 2x pay after 12. Get sent home at 13.5 hours in a day if it goes that long. Pretty easy to make $150 to $200K per year if you are reliable. The controls technician. No heavy lifting, mainly on a computer work from home 1/3 of the time. Make 1 to OK with extra from overtime. Company car, 6% for 101,000 match. Some jobs over premium rates where I can make 77 HR for overtime or 103 per hours on double time Sundays. Holidays. I did that job for 6 months back in 2007. I made $63.25. Working 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. with a lunch break around 3 a.m. Usually at a 24-hour Denny's or something. Lots of highway accidents, lots of hoarding situations and elderly dying in their homes of natural causes. A few crime scenes, lots of hotel rooms. Military Sealift Command has masters that make so much money they actually hit the statutory limit that Congress has set, so they have to defer pay into future years. It's the limit because they would be getting paid more than the president and other high-paid positions, so they get their statutory maximum and the rest goes into some sort of interest-bearing trust account, continued to be paid out each year to the statutory maximum. Someone with more knowledge on it than I can fill in the gaps of what I might have wrong, but it pays bank. I'm a firefighter in a mid-sized city. We start around $60,000 for $1,000 a year but get a bump at 3 years and then 5 years. Once you hit your 5-year mark you're making $96K a year. Union benefits, amazing healthcare, pension, and about a month and a half vacation time with how our schedule works. If you like doing overtime you can easily make 1 to OK. Some overtime studs make up to $170K a year. I don't do that, because you'd basically have to live at work. And on top of it all, I'm sitting on a couch watching TV 90% of the time, and people actually like you, unlike being cops. Pretty great gig if you can get hired and without overtime. I only work to 24-hour shifts a week, so I have a lot of free time if I choose to stay home. My wife has a friend whose dad delivers bread all over their small city, 20-ish people. He wakes up every morning at 4 and is finished by lunch. He makes around $200,000 a year. He wanted to give the business to my brother-in-law. He asked him to ride along with him for a year or two to learn the business and meet the customers. My brother-in-law declined because he doesn't like waking up early. I worked as a 911 operator. I recently promoted to the admin side, but I was at $42. Or when I was answering calls. No college degree needed. Just type fast and occasionally be ready to hear some heinous shit. Overnight hospital maintenance. I was making $30 an hour just to be on call for the night. You probably get like 3-2 for calls a night. I was sleeping for at least 5 to 6 hours per night. Amazing benefits and a very strong union that regularly goes on strike for more money. You don't need any type of school and the overtime is unlimited. I was clearing over $5,000 a month. Chief mate on a tugboat. I get $730 per day, paid travel to and from the boat, full benefits. Next step up is captain, which is $1,000 per day. H.S. Drop out. Got my get 6 months of vacation every year. Not sure if this is 100% accurate, but a dude who worked the docks in Charleston, SC, said that longshoremen that work the cranes make up to $300,000 a year. I just found out a guy graduated with is going to be making $1.1 million a year. To coach a mid-college basketball team. Like I know there's money in college sports, but holy hell. My son is a server at a high-end steakhouse. He makes $4,000 to $5,000 a week. He was at another restaurant for 5 years and it got a Michelin star. And he was contacted by his current employer and offered a job. It seems restaurants want servers with Michelin-level experience. He likes his job cause he gets to create new cocktails. When he's asked what he does, he says I'm a server. Honestly, people think high-paying equals doctor, lawyer, tech bro, but the real money is hiding in jobs nobody talks about. Ditch diggers, linemen, plumbers, elevator techs, garbage collectors. They're all quietly making $150,000 to $5,000 because nobody wants to do dirty, risky work. Infrastructure emergencies. Don't wait for business hours. Overtime stacks up fast when pipes burst at 3 a.m. My buddy's an elevator mechanic with a high school diploma, clear $190,000 last year. Another friend fixes gas leaks, made $160,000 being on call. Lineman neighbor, $2 to $4,000 after working hurricane repairs. Here's the thing, these jobs are recession-proof. People always need power, water, working elevators. While tech gets laid off, these guys just keep cashing checks to jobs society looks down on. Those pay bank if you stick with them. To sexy jobs everyone wants: journalism, teaching, entry-level corporate. Those pay shit because too many people want them. Most will train you and pay for certifications. No college debt, just show up ready to work. Bottom line, if you can handle getting dirty and working odd hours, there's a whole world of six-figure jobs people ignore while chasing Instagram-worthy careers that barely pay rent. Real estate agent for a builder. It's like being a realtor without looking for the business. You get to have say in what the entire neighborhood looks like, deciding what house goes on what lot, colors, options, etc. Get to watch families, buy their first home, and grow, but it's harder than we get credit for. Is it really difficult? No. But it's a lot of acrobatics at times. The last 3 years with the exception of this year, my wife and I cleared for $550,000. This year kinda sucked, but we still are on track for $250 and tracking 110K. Biggest thing is it easily gets to your head that you're the best and the money is endless. You aren't, and it isn't. Have to save for the rainy days, because they do come and it's when you least expect it. I know too many people with $1,600 car payments and expensive lifestyles they can't let go of. And years like this are kicking them in the ass. I tell friends who aren't in the industry and I feel like I'm trying to sell them a religion or join MLM when reality is I see people smarter than me that work harder who make way less. And I wish they'd hear me out on it. Medical coding. Most people have no clue what it even is. But some coders clear 80 to 100K a year just from home with zero patient contact. I am a musician, not a famous musician. I don't play my own music for money, just other people's, playing events and bars. I make over $150,000, which shocks the hell out of people. I bought a house last year. For some reason people think I'm homeless when I tell them I'm a musician, but usually I actually make more than them, and my job is easy, fun, and I make my own schedule. Insurance adjuster, estimator. I work on the auto side, but most companies have house adjusters as well, or they sublet it out to independents. Just like every job, the company you work for and their policies differ. I worked for a very well-known carrier and made close to $100,000 fully WFH. That particular company culture was horrible, so I took a pay cut and went back out into the field. Base salary now is $80,000 and the benefits are amazing. I get a company car, company pays for gas, even with personal use, pension, 401k match. Health insurance is affordable and great coverage, and a monthly stipend for internet. Technically I only clock 7.5 hours per day. Typically I drive around and see 3 cars in the morning. I'm usually back home before noon and do about an hour or so of admin work. I set my own schedule on a daily basis and often don't even leave my house at least 1 day a week. Some people sign up for the catastrophe team, hurricanes, flood, hail, etc. and make well over 100K. The downside is you travel 3/4 of the year and I have young kids. Facilities technician. I got paid $42 an hour to sit on my ass and adjust temperatures per demand of the clear noom fab. I was overwatching occasional wastewater pump replacement, or sweeping up water. I regret leaving that job. Working as a banquet server in the hotel industry, you can make between $40 $100 an hour depending in the hotel. Work is very easy. Only downside is that it's seasonal sort of. Most people have to too for jobs working in different hotels to offset the slow weeks. Month. One hotel might be slow but the others will be busy. You can pick and choose where you want to work when you're on call in most of them. On the plus side, they always feed you so you don't have to waste money on food either. Foundation repair salesman. All I do is use a tool to tell me how your home is settling, then tell you what the tool told me. I don't even do the labor. I just get you to agree to have someone else from my company come do the hard work. My first year I made a little over 1,100. Now I routinely pass 200. I had a get and zero experience when I was hired. Kind of a stretch because it can be notoriously inconsistent. But social media in a designated niche. Obviously this is more known, but people think of the generic social media influencing and don't realize just how many niches there are. The unique ways to monetize. I've worked in the social impact space, more specifically environmental education. And once people have audiences for their work, I've seen them clear $5, $0 for a single post or speaking engagement. And I'd say in general that's the low end of influencer marketing. People think impact work has to be for dirt pay. But I've seen young people create really unique business models, and it mostly oriented around social media strategy. Freight broker. I know guys making $60,000 to $70,000 per month doing it for years now. Businesses hate dealing with truck drivers and trucking companies to the point that they'd rather pay a middleman. Not sure how someone hasn't developed a platform to take over that process completely already. It's like the Wild West. Instagram influencer. I don't think most people know the Instagram influencer girls are raking it in. I know someone who has 800,000 followers and makes $50,000 a month. A different influencer who lives in the same city as me just bought a $5 million house. All she does is post Amazon links all day. Mechanic. I was making six figures in my very early 20s in the early 2000s. Some techs make $200,000 or more. The key is to be very good at diagnosing issues, especially electrical issues. In flat rate, you are paid on what the job average time to complete takes. If you are good, you can be faster than the book time and get paid more jobs in the same amount of time. For an extreme real-life example of a job I used to commonly perform, the job pays about 8 hours to remove an engine to replace, reseal an oil pan. I found a way to do the same job without removing the engine. Under warranty, the job pays me the 8 hours. But I could perform the job in about 30 minutes and let the car sit for a few hours to dry while I worked on another job. I would typically flag 75 to 110 hours a 5-day week, but only actually work 40 to 50 hours. You can make bank installing gutters. The owner of the company I used to work for made an average of $300K per truck annually, and he had more than 10 trucks. Our best installer's truck would clear $800,000 to $1 million each year. I quit because the owner was a cheap ass, but I plan on purchasing a couple of gutter trucks in a few years and make bank. Film, TV, video industry grips. They're responsible for a number of things, but primarily rigging the camera to various structures and shaping lighting fixtures with different textiles and colored gels to fusions. The lowest paid position within the grip department can make roughly $600 to $750 a day here in the US, and doesn't require any kind of formal education or certifications to get started. In general, you get paid for the full 10 hours even if the day ends up being significantly shorter. On top of that, the entire industry operates according to California's laws about overtime, even when productions are happening in other states. So basically you accrue overtime every hour over 8 within a single work day, instead of having to work greater than 40 hours within 1 week, which is great when you get booked on short-term 1 to 4 day jobs. If you can board dogs overnight in your home, walk large packs of dogs on leash at the same time, and develop a large client list, you can earn an absolutely shocking amount of money. If you have one daily pack walk 10 to 12 dogs on leash, which would include your overnighters, take everybody up in a van, and drop them off after the walk, you can charge $50 or more per dog per walk. Walk is 1.5 hours. Pick up and drop off time adds 3.5 to 4 hours. You can work 6 days a week, roughly 35 hours per week total, minus all the care you provide the dogs. Boarded overnight in your home and average $500 daily easily. In fact, you can make a lot more in well-to-do areas. Gotta work Saturdays though. Takes time to gain momentum acquiring clients, and turning down bookings with good clients is a big no-no, so finding free time can be difficult. Oh, and one other thing. You have to be an accomplished dog trainer to pull this off. Does require years of experience. The film production industry. No money in feature films or any real narrative work, but corporate and commercial spaces have so much money. I have multiple clients who pay $20 to $40K a day without blinking for a big corporate shoot setup. Easy as piss work, and so much money gets thrown around. The big shoots happen more than you'd think, but even between them you can easily charge $3 to $5K a day. For smaller stuff for a few hours,